there.
What is up? What is up?
Oh, technology.
I know, right? It's wonderful when it works, and then when it doesn't, it's the worst.
It's the worst. But here
It
we are
is.
now.
Here we
Hi.
are. Here we are. What is going on?
Nothing much, just quarantining here in Los Angeles with my puppy Pearl. Well, she's an old lady really, but
How old?
here
How old? How old?
she's 8 years old.
That's not too old. I have one that's 10, and I refuse to tell people that he's old.
I know she still has a puppy spirit and looks like a pup, so I consider, I consider her my little baby.
Oh, cute.
How
That's
are
cute.
you?
Good. How's quarantine in LA right now? Or is it still being taken very seriously? Because I'll tell you, in Miami right now, it's sort of loosening up.
Y'all are
That's
partying already, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah. It's a little scary.
Um, we just entered, I want to say it's like phase 3, so they're lifting up some of the restrictions. Like people are able to eat in restaurants with social distancing, and some bars are open again, and hair salons just opened again. I think some nail salons just opened again, which I'm very excited for. I cannot wait to
Wait, are
get
you
these
gonna
nails done.
go? Are you gonna go?
You know what? You don't understand how badly I need these nails done. Like
So
doing it
that's a yes?
myself. It's a light yes, but I've been doing my nails and they chip every single day and I just can't stand to look at them anymore. So I'm just gonna bite the bullet, put this mask on, bring my own tools, my own polish, and get them done.
So wait, actually, that's probably a good question to ask, any of the women that are watching us right now. Like, if nail salons open by you, or if they already have, would you go or have you gone already? Actually, I'm really
Yes,
interested to know that
let
because
me
I'll,
know
I'll
so I
be
don't
honest,
feel
I'll be very
ashamed.
honest. I went and I got my hair cut. When I got my hair cut, these are not natural highlights. I'm gonna, but I
See,
did go get my hair cut and my hair color, truth, because I was looking a real mess.
yeah, I haven't gotten my hair colored, so like I have crazy roots right now. But
Uh-huh.
my mom is a hairstylist and she doesn't live far from me, so I went
Oh,
to their house and we did a little trim a
that's
couple
kind of
weeks
perfect.
ago.
That's
Yeah, but
kind of
now the hair
perfect.
salons are open, so if you need a haircut, Lulu Salon in Woodland Hills, go get it if you're in LA.
That's okay. All right, there you go. That's what you're pushing. You're
There's
promoting.
there's my shameless plug.
Exactly. Her aunt owns it, guys.
My
Just
mom.
stop. Yeah. Just up. Ash says I do mine. Nastassja, who's my co-host, says I haven't yet. Raven says no. Laugh out loud. Luciana says, "Oh, I'm there."
Thank you.
But Becky says judge-free zone. Truth is, yeah, this is a judge-free zone. We're here for
Appreciate
that
it.
judge-free zone, right?
Appreciate it.
Do it for the memes, or memes is asking what color are you
Meme.
getting? What color are you getting?
Oh, what color? You know what? I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna get like a design. I'm gonna do neon French tip. I'm gonna get like crystals. I
The
want
full
the
thing.
whole
You're doing the
thing.
Cardi, the Becky G, the Rosalia, the whole thing,
Yeah,
right?
I'm gonna need it all full on because just like this basic chipped nail situation is not cute for me.
No,
And
that's
everyone's
fair.
asking what I'm drinking. Um, I don't know if you guys like to do this, but I like to spike my energy drinks.
Wait, what's
Celsius
that?
with a little bit of tequila. Don Julio
Tequila.
1942.
Really? Legit? You
Oh
know,
yeah.
I have a little bit of mezcal right here. I'm
Hey,
a big mezcal drinker. Actually, you know
me
what?
too.
I wanted to talk to you about that because I know that you're, correct me if I'm wrong, right? And I think you have no problem doing that, but you are Filipino Mexican.
Yeah.
Now, I
Mm-hmm.
knew the Filipino. I don't know why I didn't know the Mexican part. Now, obviously, you're here on Latinx Now. We got to talk about this Mexican side as well.
Yes, no one knows about that side because when you see Lim, you immediately think Asian, but then when you look at me, you're very unsure. Um, but yeah, my
And then when you
mom,
hear Erin, you're
yeah, you're
just like,
like,
oh, she's
what
from
the hell?
Canada,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, literally my entire life has been very confusing. If any of you in here are biracial, you know the struggle.
Okay.
It is real, the identity crisis. But yeah, so my mom is Mexican, but she also just recently took her 23andMe because she's like, I feel like we have so much more in us.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, so my mom is like fifth generation Mexican American Los Angelino, like grew up in Venice, Culver City area.
But she was born
Um,
in the United States.
yeah, she was born in the
Okay.
United States. Her mom was born in the United States.
Like it
And
went
then,
back a lot of
yeah, so
generations.
we've
Okay.
got
Okay.
like LA pride, LA blood through and through. And yeah, so my mom is Mexican American. And yeah, my dad is Filipino American. Well, my dad was born in the Philippines, but he was, American since he was 9 years old.
Okay,
Um,
okay. Yeah, that
yeah.
I again, both of my parents are Colombian, but I was born in the United States. They were born there and raised there and the
Yeah.
whole thing, but they came over as immigrants, and so being here in the United States, but with Colombian parents, that was just like I was just like, well, I'm sort of all over the place, right?
Right?
So yeah, so I mean, in your case, I think it might have been a little more mishmash because you've got the Filipino and the Mexican and all that stuff.
Right.
Do
Yeah.
you have like any like anything that you do that is like really Mexican? You get what I'm saying? Like, are you just or is it too far separated now as far as, your
Um,
mom being born here, your grandma being born here, or do you do like
yeah.
Mexican things?
I mean, we do Mexican things, but now I'm like, what do I do that is so Mexican? Like, I
Like as
probably don't
far as
even realize I'm doing it
probably
sometimes.
you're right, you're right. That's
Um,
actually a brilliant, really brilliant answer, which is why
yeah.
you're probably a really good host. You're a good host because you have those good answers.
Right. And then I'm just like, I feel like I truly am a citizen of the world and I think that's why I have had an identity crisis, like for a lot of my life, because I absorb so much of like different cultures and depending on like where I am in the world. Like at one point, I used to live in Singapore, which is,
Oh, okay, we got to
you
talk
know,
about that as well, for
like
sure.
that is totally different where, a lot of Filipinos there, um, I mean, Filipinos don't make up a lot of Singapore unless they are people who are, um, house cleaners or gardeners or, it's
Okay.
very different culture. So
Yeah.
Filipinos are kind of looked at in like a different light over there. So,
Yeah.
and then when I have a last name like Lim, which is very Chinese, so people are like, "Oh, are you Chinese?" But then they're like, "You don't look Chinese, but you don't look like anything we've ever seen out here."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so it was very interesting because I'm like, "Oh, I'm experiencing like so much like of a,
But that's a cool
and
mix. I
it's
think
a
that's a
cool
really
mix
cool
and like
mix.
in Los Angeles because it's such a melting pot. No one ever questions it. Everyone is mixed up of something. So
Everyone's
people
something,
just look
right?
at you
Yeah.
like, oh, you're just a mixed breed, and like that's perfectly normal. But then you have a last name like Lim, so people are very confused when it comes to me. And I grew up actually wanting to be on Telemundo and to like refine my Spanish and
For
to be like,
real?
yeah, I wanted to be like a Spanish speaking broadcaster and I wanted to like tap into that and also have that edge of being on Spanish speaking TV and have a last name like Lim. And so in high
That's true.
school
That's
and
true.
college, like I was all about it. And then when I moved to Asia, I kind of like lost touch a little bit with my Latin roots and speaking Spanish, which bummed me out. And then I actually started like getting on Duolingo again, so I could like not sound like a gringo, is what my mom would call me.
Right, right,
So
right. Of course. By the way, Nastassja, again, my co-host, she said you have tequila in your drink. That's a really Mexican thing you do.
oh yeah, they're little. Okay, you know what else I do that's very Mexican? I have tahine in my purse
Okay,
and I
there's your
put it on
answer.
everything. Put that shit on
Yes,
everything. I
you
put
really
tapatio on
do.
everything. Oh
You really
yeah.
do. Okay,
I
okay.
am like hot sauce in my bag, like
In your
packets of
bag,
tapatio. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
but
In my purse,
tapatio.
tahine and tapatio like on everything.
By the way, guys, I don't know if you know, Erin's getting paid majorly on this Instagram live from the nail salon to Tapatio to Tajin
I'm
to
not
Don
making any
Julio
money.
to Don
Someone
Julio.
pay me though. Someone pay me.
She has already banked about $90,000, guys.
Do you know how much I wish that were true? I wish that were true. Please, I will send you my Venmo
Yeah,
requests
right. Me
later
too.
to
Me
these
too. I'm
brands.
part of it. I'm part of it. Erin, actually, I wanna go back to Singapore really quick because this is gonna sound so basic, but I saw Crazy Rich Asians, and then I was like, oh my God, this place is magical, at least through the movie, right? And I was like, I've got to go there because I've had, the luxury and the pleasure of being able to travel to Asia many times, but
Wow.
I've never been to what's it called? To Singapore.
Singapore?
So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going. So that same night after I saw the movie, I booked my flight. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
And I went and I absolutely loved it. I loved it so much. Did you love living there or?
I literally told my boyfriend today, I was like, it's not too late to move to Singapore and to
Yeah,
get back over
right?
there because I absolutely loved it. It truly is Disneyland of Asia. That's what they call it out there because it is so close to so many different Southeast Asian countries that
Yeah.
you can literally be on a plane and be in the Philippines in 2 hours. You can be in Hong
Right.
Kong in 2 hours, Thailand, Taiwan, anywhere. It's in like the best location. It's English speaking, so it's not hard to adapt and
Yeah.
to really feel comfortable if you're not from there. It's got a really high percentage of expats, of people who either retire there or just move there for business or to be in the industry. I didn't have to learn another language, and it's actually very multiracial, multicultural.
It is. It is.
So
I was surprised about that. It really, really
yeah,
is.
because it just doesn't make up one race. There's Chinese people, there's Malay people, there's Indian people, and then you've got the expats who've moved there from all over. And it's so safe. Let me tell you, it is so safe. I'm a paranoid person. I could be walking down the street at 3 a.m.
I did
from a
that.
bar
Yes. Yes.
alone as a woman and
Yes.
not
Oh,
look
yeah.
over my back once. Not once was I looking,
Well,
or
I,
was I
I
afraid.
I do have to say that I did the same thing, obviously not from a woman's perspective, but just from a man's perspective, which yes, I guess there is, a differentiating factor there, right?
Yeah,
But I would still, get back to the hotel at 3 in the morning. I was walking, I was like, there's absolutely nothing that's going to happen to me. And
so
it,
safe.
that's a really, really crazy feeling, like such a crazy feeling that sadly, and again, and I'm not even comparing it to other third world countries. I'm comparing it to United States, right? Where you're
Yeah,
walking home and you're just like, okay, all right, am I the coast is clear? Am I good? Am I, and
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
nuts to think how safe it really is out there. So
It
yes, I
and
wanted
it's
to talk
so
about
clean.
Singapore.
It is so clean. Everyone thinks, oh, you go to jail if you like chew gum. That's not true. They just don't sell gum
They
in
don't
the
sell it.
country.
Right,
Yeah,
they
and
don't
you could
sell it.
bring gum from somewhere else and
Oh, you
chew it, but if
can? I just, yeah, I didn't
yeah.
take,
Oh,
not that
I
I
would
need
bring
gum, but
gum. I mean, maybe I was kind of breaking the rules. I don't know, but I would bring gum from whenever I'd come home. But if you're caught spitting the gum on the floor, then yeah, you're gonna get a ticket or
then you're in trouble. Right, right,
you'll
right.
be in trouble. Yeah.
And
But
and
it's an amazing place to live.
so I want to go back then real quick to how you got to do what you're doing now, right? Professionally, because it's not an easy career. I think there's a lot of people that are interested in it. And like I know that you've been working super hard at it. And I say working because I think it's like a process that continues, right? Like people think, oh,
Yeah.
that's it, it's done. Like they're in. And it's like, no, like not at all, not at all. Tell us a little bit about like how that was for you, because I got into it even though I really wanted to do it. I almost got into it by accident. I was getting interviewed and then they were like, "Oh my God, you're great. You speak English, you speak Spanish. Come on over,"
Oh,
right? And that's how
wow.
I got into Telemundo. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So how was it for you?
Well, I guess I always knew that I wanted to be an entertainer. I
See,
knew
right?
that
I'm
I
sorry,
want.
real quick. Cynthia's saying that she's interested, and Amelia's saying that she wants to do what you do. So
Oh,
yeah.
amazing. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so I always knew that I wanted to be an entertainer. I wanted to be a broadcaster. And I went to school to study broadcast journalism at Chapman University. And as I was getting my education, I was simultaneously working as a local producer in Orange County. And, it was very low level and I wasn't doing anything crazy, but I knew
But
that
how'd
I
you get
needed.
that job? How did you get that job?
Okay, so I really just spoke to my professor who had connections.
Okay.
For me, I would always ask someone who knew someone, like, how can I get there? Like, there's always like a link between you and where you want to be. So you just have to talk to people. And
Agreed.
so I was working for the city of Orange and I was doing local level producing and hosting. And on top of that, I was building my video portfolio by doing video game broadcast journalism. I would go to midnight releases of new video games. I would be talking about nerd culture and nerd buzz and really just kind of tapping into a market that was like my niche or my beat.
Niche, right? Uh-huh.
Yeah, and so once I kind of built that, I would use that. And then I was randomly in Singapore doing a documentary for my broadcast program. And as I was in Singapore, I was like, this place is amazing. And I was just meeting so many different types of people, and everyone was asking me what I wanted to do. And I said, I want to be an on air host.
Wait,
And
who was asking you what you wanted to
just
do
friends who were in the industry out there.
in
Er,
Singapore?
yeah, and it was
Okay.
all before we had graduated college, and friends who, were in the film studies program as well. And friends would say, "What do you want to do?" And I would say, "I want to be an on-air talent." And they're like, "You should see what you can do in Singapore." And in Singapore, they had MTV Asia, they had HBO Asia. Sony AXN Asia, like NBC Asia. They had all of these networks, but
Right.
catered to the Southeast Asia market. And I was like, okay, well, being half Asian, like I think I can relate to the demographic out here.
Yeah.
And so I literally, every single person I met while I was doing a documentary out there, I got their information and I sent cold emails to people that they knew or to
Good
the
for
people that I
you.
had worked with. Literally, I would look up agencies in Singapore and I would email them and when I would say, hey, this might seem like a long shot, but I'm trying to be a host. Here's my real, it's all the stuff that he did in college, that even non-professional stuff I would like put in my reel, anything
Yeah.
of me on camera. I sent them my resume and headshots, and everyone would respond saying, "Oh, that's great that you can do this. Like, let's set up a meeting." And I wasn't in Singapore anymore, so I was like, "Cool, let's do
Oof.
Skype." And they're like, no, you kind of have to be out here." I randomly took a trip after my graduation, and I saved up all my graduation money, any savings I had, to go back out to Singapore
I
and
was
take
gonna
a bunch
say
of
it's
meetings.
expensive to head out there,
It's an
right?
expensive flight, but I really wanted to go out there. My parents thought I was crazy. I was going to take a local news job in Montana if I didn't do that. And I just took all my money, took these meetings, and people were like, great, but you need to move here. I literally said, great, I'm moving here end of summer. I packed all my bags. I had $500 cash and a little bit of money in the bank. And I said, I'm moving to Singapore. And I literally
Wow.
lived with a friend out there for a little while. And I would send those emails consistently. This might be a long shot, but, and then in the body of the email, I'm Erin Lim. This is what I'm capable of. This is what I want to do. This is my link to my website and to my reel. And then I would literally get jobs from that. And then from there, I kind of just kept on building my reel, and each
Yeah,
job
yep.
would be like a snowball effect, would lead to the next. And then Asia took notice of me while I was out there, and they sent me an email, and they're like, hey, we've been watching you. Do you want to come in? Got this Asia job. Couple years later, I am now at Hollywood.
I mean, that's insane. Seriously, but that's terrifying. That's terrifying. I always say though, when you're put in those predicaments that you have $500 left to your name is when you just work your hardest and when you're at your
Yeah.
most badass and when you're at your most like driven and thirsty and hungry and everything,
You have nothing to
And
lose when you have nothing.
nothing. And that's just the best. So what would you say is like the top thing that you did that people could like take away from this as far as like making that happen? You think it was like just the constant communication, the emails,
You know
or
what I truly believe it was? It was believing in myself and treating myself like a professional before others even saw me as a professional.
oh,
And
okay,
it's almost
okay.
like that mentality of fake it till you make it. Like I had these legit business cards. I had a legit website, erinlim.com. I had a legit email. I had all of these things. So when I was in front of producers or people who were in the industry, I would just say, hey, I'm Erin Lim. Like I'm a host. Even if I wasn't employed, I'd be like, I'm a host. I'm a producer. Here's my business card. Yeah, let me know if you have anything, if you want to set up a meeting. I would set up meetings all the time, coffee dates all the time with people. And it was literally in those random instances when I would get coffee with someone that would book a job. And, I think that if you don't see yourself as the person that you want to be, then no one else is going to see you as that
Yeah, I
person.
completely agree with you. Do you sometimes though, and I'll be real, sometimes like when I'm on a red carpet or when I'm interviewing, a huge A-list celebrity or whatever, I'm just like, when are they going to realize that I don't know what I'm doing, or that I'm not as good as everyone else, or that, I
Right.
maybe, does that happen to you, or is that
Oh
just
my
like
gosh,
that
all the
crazy
time
head?
I'm like, I'm
Right?
not worthy.
Yeah, yeah,
Why am I
yeah.
here?
Right? I say
Um,
quiet, of course. I'm just like, yeah, of course it's supposed to be here.
yeah,
But
I never say that. I would never
yeah,
say I'm not worthy or credible or
right,
qualified.
right.
But like you yourself, you should never disqualify yourself. You always have to see that you are supposed to be in those rooms. And once you get in those rooms, it might be hard. But once you get that foot in the door, then that's when you just bang that thing out and you make it yours. And I'm not saying like you bang in the, forget everything I just said. You just have to prove yourself when you're
What
in
not to
those
do
rooms.
by Erin Lim. No, I'm kidding.
What not to do. Don't do anything I'm saying. But seriously, like treat yourself like the professional that you want to be seen as.
Okay, okay. I love that so much. But here's the other part to all of this, right? And I'm interested to see if you agree on this. I think people, again, we both, thankfully and fortunately are in a good position right now, right? Where we still have a lot to accomplish, I think, for both of us, correct?
Yeah.
But people think, okay, great, you're in, you're done. There's still so much to do, and there's still so much sometimes like pushback that you get, right? And there's still so much to have to like, obviously like weigh through and be like, no, 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 no. Like now is actually when it gets even harder, right? Like now you're actually in, now you've got to prove to people that like, okay, this is why I'm here, right? And then at the
Right.
same time, you have a million people wanting to replace you, a million people
Mm.
that, are definitely looking at you and saying, okay, I could do that. And at any moment, let's face it, we know how this industry is. Boom,
Yeah.
you're out, right? So
Yeah.
that's something that I think a lot of people don't realize, right? And this is also, I think, in any career, quite frankly. Look, when you're a top attorney, there's another attorney that wants to be the top attorney, right? When you're a fashion
Right.
designer, you've got your clothing, the next person wants to come in and beat your collection, right?
Right.
So how do you deal with that? It's a constant pressure, right? That you're just always pushing through.
Yeah, and I think that, you can never take this all for granted. Like even though I'm 5 years into being with E in Hollywood, and I'm, about 4 years into my show, The Rundown, that, so many
Which
people watch.
incredible, and you so many episodes, by the way. Hello, yes,
Thank you.
fantastic.
500 later,
500, yes.
but like you really do have to keep yourself in check and keep yourself grounded, because if you just look right outside, there's a lineup of people who have been working their asses off to do what you do. And I don't ever forget that. And I don't know if it's because of my background, where I come from two very hardworking parents who showed me like really solid work ethic. And, both of them being people of color who've had to work so hard to get where they are, I truly respect it. And whenever I go home, it's not like, oh, Erin Lim, the superstar on TV. It's like Erin Lim, the middle child who, is just like one of us, who's
And
not
who's
a
got to do the
celebrity.
dishes? Who's got to do
Exactly,
the
who's got to
dishes
do the
now?
dishes. And,
Go do the dishes, Aaron.
exactly, so I have so many people in my life who keep me so rooted in reality and grounded, that, you just really do have to remember that, like, this is not a forever thing. Like, one misstep, or, once you let your head get too big that you can't walk through the door, guess what? No one's going to want you to walk through that
Yeah,
door.
big time, big time, big time for sure.
Yeah.
Aaron, I'm so glad this turned into like let's talk about your career, and I hope we didn't impose too much on it
No,
on that.
I
But I
love
just think
it. I love
I
it.
really do think that a lot of people, including myself, obviously, are very inspired by your work ethic and just your
Thank
complete
you.
trajectory. That like I think people also have seen you grow, right? And I think
Yeah.
people, when they get to witness that, they are attached to you forever. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's something that they want to continue seeing you grow. So, the fact that you hit, your 500 episodes of the rundown, the fact that you got the rundown, several years ago, that was just like an incredible moment. The fact that, you do so well on the red carpet. I honestly just wanted to make sure that you're aware of that,
Thank you. That
that
means a
there is
lot.
that for sure. So thank you so much. I don't know. I would have continued talking to you for like another 7 hours
Oh my
about all
gosh,
this, taking the
seriously.
tips. I'm like, okay, so I send out emails, and can I
Send,
do this?
you
And
guys,
I moved to
everyone watching,
Singapore. I moved to
send those.
Singapore.
Even if you don't move to Singapore, seriously, move to Singapore at some point in your life, because it's the most amazing country. But also send those emails. Keep believing in yourself. Like, it sounds so cliche and lame, but if you don't believe in yourself, no one's going to believe in you. And
Big
also, in
time.
addition to the rundown and all of the other things that you watch me on, Binge Club every Saturday on Snapchat. I tell you what shows to watch, so make sure you tune
Wait,
into
I don't
that as
know
well.
about this. What?
Oh my gosh,
I don't
Binge
know about
Club.
this.
It's my
Yeah,
newest
so,
show on Snap. Yes, it's
and it's
me talking about all of the shows that you need to be watching right now, and I'm giving my reviews and why you should either skip it or press play. Yeah, so look it up on
that's
Snap
amazing.
Discovery.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. I love that.
Yes, and
So
if you
it's
have any binge recommendations, please hit me.
so wait, what are you recommending right now?
Oh my gosh, there are so many things to watch right now.
Wait, have you watched Deer?
Dear what? Dear white people?
If there was Deer or something else, I would have said it. It's just called Deer.
I
It's
don't think I've
Deer.
watched Deer. Do I
It's
need to
it's
watch a
on
Deer? I
it's on
watched Outer
Apple.
Banks.
It's
I
on
watched.
Apple TV
Oh
Plus.
Yes, I actually literally clicked that the other day, and I
Dear what, Christian? I'm all.
I need to
That's
watch
it.
Dear. Yeah, I'll watch
Watch it.
Dear.
Has anyone here seen Gear? It's fantastic. I've seen. I will say though, and this is you obviously have got your show. I'm not the host of Binge Club, right? But I will say it's not a binge show, only
Mm,
because it could. If I think if you watch it too continuously, it could get repetitive because it's essentially the same format for every episode, right?
right.
So I would say watch an episode and then disconnect and go, and then watch another one. They're fantastic.
Okay. All
Fantastic.
right. I'm gonna
Fantastic.
get on that.
Seriously.
I'm gonna watch
Yeah.
Dear.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, watch Dear White People. That's a great one. I don't
Oh, is
know if
that what you
I
asked?
was like, Dear what? But also another show that we have not talked about on Binge Club, and I hope that we do in our next episode, is Magic for Humans. It's like my shameless guilty pleasure, and I haven't admitted this to really anyone except for
Uh-huh.
all of you tuned in right now. Magic for Humans is my jam. That's
And
the
where's
show I
that
fall
at?
asleep to. It's on Netflix, and it's this guy, Justin Willman, who is doing magic tricks, and I'm just such a freaking nerd. I love magic, so yeah, that's my guilty late night binge.
Okay. Magic for Humans.
Yeah.
All right, I'll have to check that
Um,
out. But that's like
but
easy watching. That's not, you
it
don't
is
have to be like,
easy watching, mindless
okay.
watching. Like it's gonna make you want to be a magician by the end of it.
Oh,
So
dope.
yeah.
Dope. Really cool. Awesome. Well, Erin, thank you so much. I won't
Thank
take up
you.
too
So
much
good
more of your
talking
time.
to
Thank you.
you.
Yes, you know what? Honestly, we would love to have you on Latinx Now. You have to when all of this hopefully settles and we
Let-
get back to a little bit of normalcy.
Yeah.
And we're back obviously on sets. We'd love
Yes.
to have you on
I would
Latinx
love to.
Now
Yeah.
and just chatting it up and discussing
Yes.
things through the Latin lens. So whenever you want, please join us.
Would
And
love
it's an
to.
excuse to come to Miami.
Hey, let's get moved
Right,
to Miami. All
right.
right.
And let's also work on another show hosted by Erin Lim and Christian Acosta. Look, I gave you first billing. And it's called it'll be called like you know the rundown from Singapore.
Hey, let's
Hey,
do
let's do
it.
it.
Is there
Let's do it.
tequila involved? I'll be
Oh, of
there.
course, it's the rundown from Singapore featuring tequila and mezcal for me.
Hey, cheers to that.
Perfect, Erin. Thank you so much. You're the
Thank
best. Seriously, you were
you.
awesome. It was
Bye,
so much fun.
everyone.
Let's do this more
Have a great
often.
day.
Ciao. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye.
Ciao.
Hello, ustedes ya saben que acá en Latinx Now siempre les tenemos lo que tienen que saber, lo que no tienen que saber, de todo un poquito.
Así es, y también es el mes del orgullo, the Pride Month. So show us love, subscribe.
Yeah, and if you just want to be cool, subscribe. Así es fácil. ¿Quieren ser cool? Suscríbanse.
Press that button.
Yay!
I'm cool. Oh, look at that.
Didn't work. It didn't work.